Legendary.
Hey guys, got a VOD from Tab and Torus. It's another side-by-side. I believe the last one was on Dorado as well. So here's another one. This one's especially interesting because we have the upper perspective is defense with Torus in the group. The lower perspective is offense with Tab and some randoms. So that being said, I'm just going to jump into the comps real quick. There's a lot to say about the comps. I'll try to be quick. They're running a 3 DPS offense with Hog D.Va. In this case, D.Va can be considered another DPS because Tab goes almost completely uncontested this entire map. On defense, we have Orisa D.Va, which is alright. Moira Mercy. So the only thing you're getting out of Moira Mercy is a lot of healing and a little bit of extra utility. The problem here is you're not getting speed and you're not getting Discord and you're not getting very good peels for your partner. They're pretty gimp when it comes to protecting each other. So when one of the DPS gets into the backline and Geek's not around, they just kind of die. They just kind of roll over because they're super easy to kill, especially when Nari doesn't have her fade. It's just kind of, I don't know. I play a lot of Genji, and if I see these two in the backline and fades down, it's the easy blade. So something to consider when running these two. And then the biggest mismatch we have is going to be the two very close range DPS. Tracer's very meta. Reaper works well on some offensive comps. The reason he's not typically used on defense is because he works really well as an area denial hero. So you may think, well, why isn't he good on defense then? Well, you can deny an area on defense, like the choke down here, which is very good for a Reaper to defend. But as soon as they push the payload up and through that choke, Reaper's effectiveness immediately falls off. Once the fight breaks out around this fountain area, and there's people everywhere, Reaper can't do anything. Maybe he'll close the gap on a tank and get lucky, but there's just nothing for him to do here. Tracer might get a little value because you can obviously close gaps a lot quicker. But that being said, these two aren't going to ever be able to kill these two when they're on high ground. They are long range heroes. McCree more of a mid range, Soldier mid-long range, but they can gun these two down whenever they want when they have a positional advantage. There's a lot of things to consider here. Obviously they didn't know what the enemy team was going to run, but it's quick play. You can almost guarantee there's going to be a lot of DPS and probably a McCree or a Soldier. Or a Pharah. If they had Pharah, you guys would be equally screwed. So, just something to think about when choosing your comps. So I can keep going, but I'm going to jump in here. On the approach, Torus and Torus and Colty start on the high ground, and they fall back pretty quick, which is good. They recognize the cart is already in the choke, so they group up behind. It's a good reaction. You can see this is going to be where Reaper's going to be most effective, is this close range, close quarters. He's got the cart to use as cover when he needs to. He can just keep emptying his guns. So this is where the offense gets gummed up for a minute or two. But it's not going to take much for them to get that cart through the choke. Once they get up this hill here, Reaper's going to have a really tough time. So Reaper's dead. He got hooked by the hog. So now you have no DPS, basically. Tab's in the back line. Obviously Terrapin's doing what he can, but you can only do so much with solo Tracer unless you're a god. So Tab got in the back line while Reaper was dead. Nobody's there to contest him. He kills Oxbro and Mercy, and then he assists the kill onto Moira. So not only do Torus' team not have that Reaper there for that fight, they lose both supports. Reaper comes in late, tries to ult, and Mercy kills him. Yeah, just kind of got dismantled there after they pushed through the choke. So I think Colty goes Roadhog here. So this is where things get even worse for your comp. Second point and third point is all about that high ground. Starting right here. So attackers, they get to push up to here for free almost every time. It's good that Torus puts the shield back there because streets here is very dangerous for defense. Attackers can go through courtyard and apply pressure, and they can go through church and apply pressure. So it's good that Torus is holding back there. But the big issue here is that you'll notice nobody on defense touches the high ground. And that is a critical mistake. Very, very, very bad news for defense. You may be asking yourself, well, what is the defense going to do with the high ground? Well, that's a good question. There's not a whole lot you guys can do with the high ground. And that's just a product of your composition. But this would be excellent if you had a soldier here or something to contest. But look at Tab. He's just getting free chip damage. And this is why high ground is good. Because he gets to pick whoever the hell he wants to shoot, farm ult, and he gets to pick whenever he wants to engage. Defensively, they can't do anything. And you guys can't even shoot Tab up here because you're all close range. It's a good hook. Geek's dead. And this is what I was talking about earlier. So, I believe Nari gets killed by the ulting hog here. She tries to escape. She dies right there. You can see her down below. So Torus puts down the shield, and Oxbro goes in for the res. Right here. Geek's down. The res occurred. The Genji recognized that. He charged in, gets some chip damage in, and then he's about to Dragon Blade right on top of everyone. And this is why I mentioned that Moira and Mercy can't do much for each other. The only person back here who can help is Colty. He's already used his hook, so he's not going to be able to hook. And then there's Torus as Orisa. He's going to be able to use his right click to displace the Genji ult, but Tab is going to absorb the right click. So Genji has no threats anymore. Genji can do whatever the hell he wants, and your squishy supports are going to die. So keep it rolling. Still, no defenders on high ground. Just, there's nothing defense can do other than wait for the Orisa shield. And now that you guys have been dismantled, it just kind of falls apart here. So there's nowhere to get cover. Oxbro needs to run for his life because he's not going to get anything done there. He dies, but I think you guys stabilize here for a few minutes. So Tab down below goes straight to the stairs because he knows you guys aren't going to do dick about it. And he's right. Soldiers are already up here. He's got an advantage on the defenders because nobody is stopping them. What a geek, as you can see, or as you saw a second ago. He was coming up the stairs, but overall, it's a little too late. I don't believe this push is successful, but this high ground is really important. I think Terrapin goes McCree here. The attackers were really close to winning that fight. Torus and Geek did a pretty good job, though. rebutting. English is hard. I had a lot of beer last night. I'm sorry. So I just want to talk about this area down here. On defense, holding here where Torus is makes sense with the Risa, but it is very dangerous. One thing I want to try doing is, and this is something that would work really well with this defending comp, especially with the Reaper, is behind glass here, aka back here, is an excellent place for defenders to hold. The small door right here is literally impossible for the attackers to push through when you have all 6 here and a Reaper and a shield. So if they're smart, they will never push through there, and so they'll constantly be going through the big gate, at which point you'll be able to shoot at them as they come in and fall back to the stairs. Choose the high ground if you so choose, or choose the low ground if you want. Both have excellent cover and give you a distinct advantage. So holding here is something I want to try in the future if we're not like run and dive. It's really forward, but the attacking spawn is pretty far back. It's like really far back. So the issue with holding here is the attackers are going to constantly be in control of the stairs, which gives them control on their attack. If they keep pushing this way through main, it's going to be bad for them, which they do a lot. But for attackers, as long as the cart's here, every time you should just take this route. Every single time, because you get all this free cover, all of this free cover straight to the cart. You can see that's what these guys are kind of doing. So, just a point I wanted to make about third. Okay. Torus is doing a good job of trying to pull them off, but there's only so much this comp can do. I still don't know if Terrapin switched yet. I think he did. So what happened there is Geek went above and killed the 2 guys on high ground, which was very well played. That definitely saved this fight. It was a good read. That's the kind of move which works with Reaper. You'll notice, I'll get into it later. Yeah, so Terrapin's McCree, so the comp's gotten a lot better now. And at this point, I think you guys are fully capable of holding for the remaining 4 minutes. I think you guys are kind of figuring out what you need to do. But there is still one distinct problem. And it's going to be focusing Tab when he's on the high ground. It's a good cleanup by you guys. Torus is getting really good at the right clicks, man. I love that. That's good to see. And I know I've been criticizing a lot of this game, but like, you guys look really good, for real. And it's really fun watching from the attacking perspective. Because I can see without listening that you guys are actually working together. And I love that. It's really good. I think a couple fights go by. I want to just cover the important stuff. So I think this is where we get towards the tail end of this game. Alright, so let me just get my footing here. So, attackers do have the Zarya. I guess the thought process is finishing out the round. Moira can counter the Grav to a degree, but not as well as a Zen would or a Lucio. So the Grav can be really strong here. But as you can see down below, Tab is doing whatever the fuck he wants. And that's really bad. This is ultimately going to be the downfall, which is this hold here of the defense in the back portion. I know we do this a lot, sometimes I do, especially in high pressure games, because you just want to deny the point. You don't want to push the cart those last remaining meters, I get it. But you have to consider, this is a very vulnerable point when you aren't applying enough pressure on the high ground, aka tab. I think at this point, I would have liked to see us reposition, either up here with the Orisa shield, or up further back on this high ground where tab currently is with the Orisa shield, or maybe holding back a little so that you do have the chance to avoid any super serious threats like a D.Va bomb. Sorry, there's a lot of scribbles. But when you have the shield here, you're leaving all of this space up for flankers and for the D.Va bomb. And you're not going to be able to get anywhere to avoid it. And I know we do this a lot, just like holding on the cart, denying that contest. It's a good habit to be playing the objective, but we also got to watch our backs. Tab's still doing whatever the fuck he wants. There's also the soldier on the high ground, and this is where the game basically ends. Just want a little replay there. So you guys are all down here, and Tab recognizes that, and he just drops the bomb. He literally just drops it. The Zarya right here sees that. She fires a grab right into it. I don't know where Terrapin is at this exact moment, but I know he dies to this D.Va bomb. See if we can spot Terrapin. Yeah, so 3 dead. Geeks already died, so you're down 4, and this is you can't recover from something like that. Colty's dead, you're down 5, Nari's on point, she's not going to be able to contest. And all they have to do here, this is basically a team kill. All they have to do here is just push it a little bit, and it's over. So, you guys played really well. You need to prioritize high ground on maps like Dorado. Remember that teams with the high ground get to choose when to engage. They get to free range on their targets. And on maps like Dorado, second especially, when all 6 defenders are on the ground, it's going to be a rough time. Same thing with just picking your comps. Just be more conscientious of the synergy between your comp and what you're countering. I think overall, in the scope of Overwatch, the most important thing is the synergy of the composition of your group. If your composition does not make sense, you're probably going to have a really hard time. But you guys recovered really well in 3rd. I think you guys should have won that game, but Tab got a nice ult. So I don't think there is enough criticism to give out about losing, but you guys should have won that. Thanks for watching.